Hey friend, it's me Vasco with a quick announcement. We at the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast are organizing this year's Scrum Master Summit. For tickets and details on the summit, check out the URL bit.ly/SM Summit 22. All one word, SMSUMMIT 22. And now, on to the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Team Tuesday. And this week we have with us from Denmark, Nick Nielsen. Hi, Nick. Welcome back.
Thank you, Vasco.
So, Nick, on Team Tuesday, of course, we talk about teams, but as usual, we start first by looking at some of the most influential reading we've done in our career. So, for you, Nick, what's potentially the most influential book you've read in your role as a Scrum Master?
That's a really, really heavy question. And probably actually for me, the hardest question of all. I'll try to give an answer that's not maybe not so common, but I'm really influenced by the book called Accelerate that revolves around the DORA metrics. As you'll probably discover maybe today and in the coming days, I love metrics. I think metrics are an often overlooked part of Agile. And for me, the DORA metrics, they make so much sense, and the empirical way of working with them and the way they work with them in the book, I think is really, really good. So I love that book.
Absolutely. Is there a specific aspect of the metrics that you think Scrum Masters especially should be aware of that would lead them to want to read the book?
I have to be careful on how I phrase this in order not to alienate a lot of people. But I think as a Scrum Master, you tend to look at the soft sides of a team. But I think you can also bear the responsibility of being a little bit of a technical coach or a technical enabler. And I think the DORA metrics are a great way to do that. They give technical insights into the team that you can then, I sort of try to talk about it like the engine room, right? If you see some bad stuff on your dashboard, then you'd probably need to open up the engine room and get an understanding of what is wrong. And that's how I view the DORA metrics. So a long lead time can mean that you have a lot of manual tests, for example. Then you need to automate part of your test pipeline, right? So sort of there's a causality between the metrics and your development machine.
Absolutely. And if nothing else, like many Scrum Masters are not technical, if nothing else, the DORA metrics are a great conversation starter, maybe even having a retrospective around the metrics and asking the team, what do they mean for them? Which ones are the most important right now? Which ones they would like to see in the future of the team? And perhaps why not even suggest, why don't we build a team dashboard, right? Like our own performance appraisal dashboard that we use to improve as a team. It's a great recommendation. Thank you for that. Nick, now we turn our attention to the teams and how sometimes they become their own worst enemies. Of course, we want to talk about antipatterns, things that develop in teams over time, right? Like they don't happen immediately. They are small things that grow and grow over time and ultimately become serious problems for the team. So tell us that story. Start from the beginning. What kind of team is this? What kind of project are they working on? Then we'll dive into those antipatterns.
Yeah. So this one I'll try to view more from my organizational role and not so much as a Scrum Master. So maybe trying to highlight three things that I have seen. And I think the first one, and maybe the most difficult one, is having different core beliefs.
What does that mean in practice in the context of a team?
So I think when you form a new agile team, people will be moved culturally, right? They will start to have, or hopefully start to have the agile mindset together as a unit. But if there's a person or a few persons in a team that don't adopt the mindset as quickly as the others, there's a chance that that person will get left out on the journey, right? So an example could be, the team realizes, it's about pushing out potential increments of value quickly, and that means, we don't have time to polish everything. We cannot ensure 100% code coverage and quality and all of that. But there's one team member that still really has that focus, right? And he or she cannot live with the team, pushing out stuff that potentially could be broken, then at least what I've seen is that one person will become alienated from the team. They'll be sort of left on an island when the agile boat
Can you give
sails.
me an example of what that would look like from your experience?
So basically, the example is that one person is still trying to fight for his or her values, but the team has adopted a new value set, and that means the person is alienated and will spend a lot of time both in retrospectives, in stand-ups, in reviews, sort of fighting for his or her case. No, we cannot push this to production, or we cannot release this to customers because I don't feel that the quality is quite there. And I'm not arguing, against quality, but being agile sometimes means adopting speed versus 100% code coverage or whatever.
Yeah, and we could think about other things like, I mean, a very common contrasting belief or contrasting approach to work is the work alone versus work together. In agile teams, we very often are pushed and need to work together because the information is shared. So there's no, let's call it, wholly requirements document or wholly design document that tells us everything we need to know. There's a bunch of people around us that have the knowledge disseminated, and then we need to gather it together. Like I might need to work with somebody from another team and I need to go and talk to them. But if I want to work alone, I want somebody to write the requirements for me so that I can go into my cubicle and write it myself. Like it doesn't need to be quality. The other aspect is responsiveness to change, right? Like some team members are very good at just getting new ideas and accepting them and working with them. And others will complain about the designers changing the design up to the last day of the sprint and so on. So I can see that many of those contrasting beliefs, but what happened in this particular team?
Long story short, the team member is no longer there, and I think that is the best that both for the team but also for that particular team member. I think as you say, there are probably some people that don't fit into an agile team. They are maybe more work alone kind of people, and that is fair enough, and I deeply respect that. So it's I'm not being I'm not the person who says you have to be in a specific way. I think you have to figure out what is best for yourself and sometimes also best for the team.
Yeah, and for us as Scrum Masters, it's very important to detect those different beliefs, right? Well, one way I can think of this, and I'm sure you have some other ideas that I would like to hear. One way I can think of this is to actually have a retrospective where we talk about how we want to work, like individually, right? Like we could have several dimensions of how we like to work. For example, I want more variety, less variety. I want requirements approved. I don't need approved requirements. I can work with the PM directly or the product owner directly. I don't want to work with the product owner directly. I want to pair program. I don't want to pair program. I want to write unit tests. I don't want to write unit tests. Like there's gazillions of dimensions we could have that discussion on. Kind of goes back to those working agreements we were talking about yesterday, right? Like as Scrum Masters, we need to make these working agreements and expectations explicit so that the team knows how to work together, correct?
Yeah. So I think that is definitely one way of doing it, but it's always about talking about why are we doing this. So why are we working with the agile values? Why are we working in a team, a fixed team? So always going back to the why, because that is what should drive our core beliefs, right? And at some point, if we figure out, I don't believe in the core beliefs of agile, or I don't believe in the core beliefs of being in a team, then we need to have those really hard discussions.
Absolutely. And our job is to have those discussions before the conflicts get out of control.
Exactly.
Great story. Thank you for sharing that, Nick.
Of course.
Hey friends, it's Vasco again, now with a bit longer announcement. I'm part of the team that is behind the Global Scrum Master Summit, the conference dedicated to the Scrum Master role. If you're a Scrum Master, the Scrum Master Summit is the place to learn, to share, and of course to meet new friends. We will have lots of live sessions where you can meet and network with other Scrum Masters from the whole globe. So make sure you check it at bit.ly/SM Summit 22. We have several amazing keynotes and 7 tracks that feature people like you and, of course, thought leaders sharing their insights, their knowledge, and helping you become an awesome Scrum Master. You can check out all of the details of the summit, including the keynotes announced, the track chairs, and much more at bit.ly/SM Summit 22. That's all one word. That's bit.ly/SM SUMMIT and the numeral 22. I'll see you on the conference floor.